This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
And welcome back. For most northern Missouri anglers, frozen lakes and ponds symbolize the end of the fishing season. For some, however, the hard water season in Missouri is the beginning of one of the best fishing periods of the year. To learn more about ice fishing and safety precautions to keep in mind, we have Tyler Green from the Missouri Department of Conservation here this morning to kind of break it all down for us. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a little cold for my liking, but hey, some people like it, right?
It's cold, but this is a good time to ice fish.
Yeah, so before we start talking about what we need to take, what are some safety precautions we need to keep in mind when we're out there?
The most important thing to remember about ice fishing and ice in general is there's no such thing as 100% safe ice. 4 inches is generally the minimum for ice fishing, but I prefer 5 to 6 inches.
Okay, all right.
You want to avoid water that's been opened by geese and other waterfowl. You want it to be a good solid 4 to 5, 6 inches.
Okay. Now, what kind of gear do we need to take out there?
There is some safety gear you want to take. These are called ice picks, and they're for self-rescue. Put them around your neck when you go out. If you happen to fall in, you can use these to crawl out, kick your feet, crawl out. Very important. You also want to bring a rope with you. This is just a throw rope example. Always have your cell phone with you, have it fully charged, and you want to have a plan. You want to go with have a buddy system, so go with have two people at least, and have your cell phone with you and tell somebody where you're going when you'll be back.
And so in case they don't hear back from you or anything, if you do happen by any chance go by yourself. So let's go ahead and talk about, bait and tackle. What is it the same as if you go during the regular season? What's that?
It is a little different.
Okay.
First things first, you need a way to get through the ice, and I brought this gigantic thing here.
This is really big.
This is an ice auger. This is just a hand auger. They make power ones too, gas powered. This is handy.
And that's what you do to drill the hole that you'll be fishing through, right?
You can use other things too, like chainsaws and axes and things.
Now,
but that's easy.
Is that as safe as using that? Because I feel like you would like crack or break the ice if you do that.
You could, but people do it.
Okay.
So
all right. Just be careful, right?
Another important tool is this. It's a kind of like a ladle, except for ice. It's got holes in it, drains out. It also has a pretty handy
little measurement.
Yeah, that way you can tell how deep the ice is.
Oh, look at that.
I was just using this the other day.
All right, perfect. Now, what kind of fish are out there in the wintertime in frozen ponds and lakes?
Any fish you can catch in the summer, you can catch in the winter. Typically, I use baits like wax worms and all these different types of rods, real small. Jigs and spoons, but you can catch bluegill, you can catch crappie, bass, catfish, really just anything that you could catch.
And these seem to be a little smaller than what I'm used to seeing. So are these specifically made for ice fishing?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
This is kind of your run-of-the-mill spinning reel attached to a small rod, but these other ones are the same thing. You can get as high-tech as you want. You can go as simple as this. It's just a spooled-up line on a stick, basically.
Perfect.
And that's really all you need.
All right, so let's talk about season and limits. Are there permits that we need to have when we go out there?
No special permits.
Okay.
If you are fishing for trout, at Spur Pond, for example, you will need some trout permit to keep trout after February 1st. Consult Northeast Regional Office to get all that information. But otherwise, the season starts when the ice is thick enough to fish on, and limits are the same year-round. Okay.
Perfect. And of course, if they have any other questions or concerns, they can contact the Missouri Department of Conservation. And really quickly, before we toss it to break, you just mentioned Spur Pond. Are there any other popular locations to go ice fishing?
I usually start with, say, like farm ponds or drainage ponds, because they freeze up first, and they're really good solid ice typically. You can go on to other lakes. MDC lakes are fine. And the bigger lakes, sometimes the whole lake won't freeze over, but sometimes you can get away with going onto the coves and things like that. But it's a fun sport.
Yeah, especially to do something in the wintertime, right?
Right. You get out of the house, and the fish taste great through the ice.
Okay, well, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Tyler, for coming on. Again, what we'll do is we'll post everything on our website at heartlandconnection.com, and we'll link up Tyler's information with the Missouri Department of Conservation as well. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.